thought of sharing your faith makes your palms sweat, you're not alone. Most of us imagine evangelism as a high-pressure sales pitch, one where we have to force a conversation, deliver a flawless monologue, and brace for an awkward argument. But there is a way to bridge that gap. Based on the principles in Sharing Jesus Without Freaking Out, we're going to build a personalized gospel conversation framework that replaces rigid, awkward scripts with a natural, low-pressure approach. Success in this doesn't require a specific personality type or a special degree. It actually begins with 3 things you likely already possess: your identity as a Christian, your own personal story of faith, and your network of everyday relationships. This baseline is liberating because it means you aren't starting from zero. You don't need to hunt for an apologetics degree or a memorized pitch to have an impact. You just need a structural way to connect the story you already know to the people you already care about. Step 1 is to stop treating evangelism like a scripted telemarketing call. When the primary goal is to win a theological argument, the dialogue becomes a contest rather than a connection. The traditional presentation model is often too rigid. It inappropriately demands an immediate decision and assumes understanding of Christian terminologies. The conversation model is different. It's adaptive, starts with the other person's worldview, prioritizes clarity, and intentionally leaves the door open for future talks. For you, this removes the stress of having to prove anything. When the goal shifts from winning a debate to simply ensuring the gospel story is clearly understood, the pressure to perform disappears. Step 2 is learning how to identify an entry point. In environments like a local coffee shop or the office break room, we have to listen for where our friend's life story naturally intersects with God's story. It's like a baseball player at the plate. Tension causes you to rush and miss the ball. But if you're relaxed, you can observe the pitch clearly and respond with timing and precision. Watch for a conversational pitch. It might be a coworker making a passing, frustrated comment about a lack of fairness at work, or a friend venting about the concept of karma. You swing at this pitch by using their specific comment as a bridge. Their frustration with unfairness is a natural pivot point to discuss the Christian concepts of grace and the mercy we find in Jesus. When you recognize these openings, you never have to force a spiritual topic. You're simply responding to the themes of brokenness and hope that people are already talking about. Step 3 is the narrative itself. When the door opens, you don't need a theological quiz. You need a simple 4-part story arc that anyone can follow. Beat 1 is creation. God made the universe. Beat 2 is provision. God placed humans in an ideal environment to enjoy relationship with him. Beat 3 is the fall. Disobedience fractured the relationship. Beat 4 is the promise. God promised a way back through Jesus. By internalizing this timeline, you replace complex, scripted presentations with the universal language of storytelling. It's a map you can use to guide any conversation. Step 4 is the conclusion. In traditional evangelism, the close is often the most awkward moment, but demanding an immediate transaction can actually damage the relational connection you've worked to build. Replace high-pressure questions with a low-stakes invitation. Instead of asking for a final decision, simply ask if they want to keep talking or if they'd like to know more. If the answer is not right now, accept it gracefully. This isn't a failure. It's a successful instance of planting a seed within an ongoing relationship. Since the goal is a lasting connection rather than a quick sale, leaving the door open ensures the other person feels respected, which makes a future spiritual conversation much more likely. You are now equipped with a framework that prioritizes the person over the pitch. You don't have to freak out because you aren't performing, you're relating. Remember the mechanics. Stay relaxed to spot those conversational pitches, and rely on the 4-part arc of creation, provision, fall, and promise. This week, pick one relationship, maybe a neighbor or a regular at your gym. Don't go in with a script. Just practice active listening and wait for the pitch. When you treat evangelism as a shared journey, you aren't just delivering information. You're inviting someone to understand the redemption story that changed your own life.